Good morning students, I am Meenal Murhekar, welcomes you all in the online tutorial of Sri Eknathrao Kharse Talent School, Muktinagar. In previous lectures, we have learned about the chapter Matter in Our Surrounding. In that video, what we have completed, we have completed with characteristics of matter. What we have learned about that characteristics of matter, what are the characteristics of matter that we have seen till that video. They were particles of matter have spaces between them, particles of matter are continuously moving, and particles of matter attract each other. We have seen in that video that particles of matter have spaces between them, and particles of matter are continuously moving and they are attracted. Particles of matter attract each other, right? This we have seen till that video. So one more thing I just want to add in the property, that is particles of matter attract each other, is that why they attract to each other? Because they have some attraction forces in them. So in solid, the force of attraction is maximum, that's why they have a definite shape or definite boundaries, you may say. And in liquid, the force of attraction is intermediate, and in gases it is negligible. You may see here the particles are attracted, or attraction is maximum here. Here they have some spaces, and here negligible are the attraction, right? So on the basis of these forces, we can classify the matter in 3 states, and now we are going to learn about the states of matter, right? So we will start with the states of matter. See here, states of matter. What are the states of matter? There are 3 states of matter, and what are these? Solid, liquid and gas. See, we'll start with solid first. Solid are what? Here the force of attraction is maximum, that's why see here the particles are attracted towards each other, right? They are closely packed here and the space is less, right? So what are the characteristics of solid due to this? Due to the structure of these particles, see here they have a definite shape. You have seen solid, you have see this book, right? This duster, this chalk, they have what? They have a definite shape. So why they have a definite shape? Because they does not have more spaces in between, right? That's why they have fixed shape. Now they have definite boundaries, right? We have in solid we have definite boundaries. We can measure the length, breadth or whatever it is, whatever the dimensions are, right? It means they have definite boundaries. Next, they are rigid in nature. Rigid means what? Rigid means they we can beat them or we can do whatever with them, their shape doesn't get changed, right? You have learned about the ductility and what is that, mobility and all that. What in that cases also we do this with the solid, and there is no change in the shape of the solid, or the solid is not affected with that, so they are rigid in nature. Next is incompressible. See, the space is not present in between the particles of solid, that's why they are incompressible in nature, right? We cannot compress that, we can do anything with that, we can mold that or we can do anything with that, but they didn't get compressed, right? So, they are incompressible in nature. And last is they have a definite volume. Yes, they have a definite volume, as they cannot change their volume, or they have the matter which is present inside them is fixed, right? We cannot change them. Next we come to liquid. Liquid, here you can see the particles have spaces, some spaces as compared to solid here. So we can define them as they have no definite shape. You have seen that liquid, does liquid has any shape? No, liquid does not has its own shape. It takes the shape of the container in which it is kept. right? So it does not have a definite shape. Liquid does not have a definite boundaries too. Have you seen liquid has boundaries? No, liquid has no boundaries. It is fluid in nature. It has fluidity. Means it is not rigid. We can compress it or we can do whatever with the liquid, right? If we pour some liquid here, it will flow. But if we kept one solid at this place, what will happen? It will not move from one place to another. Is it right? Yes, but if we keep water here, it will flow. So it is fluid in nature. Now, on the aspect of compressibility, it is less compressible or low compressible. As compared to the solid are incompressible, but here liquid are less compressible as compared to what? They are less compressible and they have a definite volume too. As a solid has a definite volume, liquid also has a definite volume, as we can measure the volume, right? We can measure the volume in 1 liter, 2 liter, it is fixed. And here also we can measure the volumes 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, right? So here now we will see about the gas. Here what is happening? The particles are less and spaces are more. That's why what we can say, they do not have definite shape. Have you seen any shape of gas? No. Gas or air, you may say air is everywhere present. Gas is everywhere. So does it have any shape? No, it does not have any shape. So gases have no definite shape. They have no definite boundaries. As it is present everywhere, it does not have any boundary, right? So it is also fluid in nature. We cannot keep air at one place. Should we keep this? No, na. That's why they also does not have. They also are fluid in nature. Now next, on the aspect of compressibility, they are highly compressible. If we apply pressure on that, then the air will definitely get compressed. Next is they have no definite volume. Air is not measured. Without liquefying them, we cannot measure air. We cannot measure that, no, 1 kilo air, 2 kilo air. This cannot be measured. That's why they have no definite volume. So, are you clear with these differences between the states of matter? Just take a screenshot of this, as this question is asked many times in exams. So you can write the differences between solid, liquid and gases. Just take a screenshot and write it down in your notebooks. Now we are going to see change in states of matter. How the change in states of matter occur? Yes, change in state of matter also occur. Means one state is converted into another state of matter too. So how it is converted? This we have to see now. See, on two factors we can change the state of matter. And what are these factors? These are by changing temperature and by changing pressure, we can change the state of matter. So first we will discuss in general about by changing temperature. See, temperature, changes in temperatures mean what? What we can do with changes in temperature? With changes of temperature, we can increase the temperature or we can decrease the temperature, right? These are the changes we do with the temperature only. So, while increasing temperature, what will happen if we are increasing the temperature? What is going to happen here? This solid is getting converted into liquid. How? See, we will take one example. We will take an example of ice, right? Ice is what? Ice is solid, right? So, when we increase the temperature of that ice, or you may say we keep that ice on room temperature, or we keep that ice out of refrigerator. So Out of refrigerator, what will happen if we keep that ice? The ice will start melting. Means when we are increasing temperature, what is happening? The ice is start melting, right? Means what is happening? This solid is getting converted in the form of liquid, isn't so? Yes. So here ice means this solid ice starts getting converted into liquid. So here solid is getting converted into liquid. Now about liquid we will talk. Now that water which is formed by melting that ice. Now what we will do? We will keep that water on a burner and starts giving heat to it. What will happen? It will start boiling and vapor will form, right? Is it happen or not? This is only going to happen na? Ki when we start the burner, the water starts boiling and vapors are going to form. So these vapors are what? These are gases. So here what is happening? Here the liquid is getting converted into gaseous form. So while increasing the temperature, what is happening? Solid is getting converted into liquid and liquid is getting converted into gaseous form. Now we will see the another aspect, that is decreasing temperature. While decreasing the temperature, what will happen? The complete process will be get reversed. How? See here. Now if we decrease the temperature, the gas will get converted here in the form of liquid, right? Then this liquid will get converted into solid. As this liquid, we keep this liquid inside that freezer, the temperature is decreased. What will happen with the liquid? The liquid will again get converted into the form of ice, that is a solid. Yes? So, in this way, if we increase the temperature, the solid will convert into liquid and liquid will again convert into gas. And if we decrease the temperature, what will happen? The gas is going to convert into liquid and liquid is going to convert into the form of solid. Right? So, this is one aspect what we have seen, that by changing temperature, we can change the state of solid. Now, another factor through which we can change the state of matter, that is by changing pressure, right? Pressure means what? Dabav, right? So, when we apply a pressure, we have seen in that differences that gas is highly compressible in nature, right? So, when we apply pressure on gas, what will happen? The particles of that gas will come closer, isn't it? If we apply pressure on any gas, what will happen? The particles will come closer as they have spaces in between. So, the spaces will be removed out and the particles will come closer. They will occupy that spaces. Okay. So, in that condition, what will happen? That particles will come as closer as the particles of liquid are closer to each other, right? What will happen? The particles of gas will come as much closer to each other as the particles of liquid are closer to each other, right? So, in this way, what will happen? That gas is getting converted into liquid. Isn't it interesting that by applying pressure on a gas, that gas particles or the gas is completely getting converted into a liquid. So, in this way, here a state of matter from gas by applying pressure is getting changed into liquid. Now again, what will happen if we decrease the pressure? Decrease the pressure, then also it will change its state. How? Let's see an example. Have you heard about a solid CO2? CO2 is present in solid form also. Yes, it is known as dry ice as it is present in solid form. Why it is in solid form? Because a high pressure is applied on that. On high pressure, it is present in a solid form. So, when we decrease the pressure from that, what will happen? that highly compressed CO2 that is present in solid form will definitely get converted into vapor form, okay, in gaseous form. So when we decrease the pressure from that liquid CO2, solid CO2, what will happen? It will get converted into gaseous form. So we have seen this by increasing pressure, what will happen? The gas is getting converted into liquid form, and when we are decreasing the pressure, what is happening? That solid is getting converted into gaseous form. So in these two ways, by changing temperature and by changing pressure, what is happening? We are going to change the states of matter. So till now we have learned in general about this. Now in detail we are going to learn this thing, as we have some terminologies associated with change in temperature. So now we are going to study about these in detail, okay? Now just see here. By changing temperature we are going to learn in brief. So first terminology here is what? Here it is melting point, right? So we are going to discuss here about melting point. So what is melting point? The temperature at which a solid melts to form a liquid at atmospheric pressure is called a melting point. Means the temperature at which a solid melts to form a liquid, means solid is getting converted into its liquid state at a certain temperature at atmospheric pressure, means the pressure which is normally present, we are not applying any pressure on it while the state is changing. So that point is known as what? Melting point. The temperature is known as what? Melting point of any liquid at which it starts melting from solid state to its liquid states. So what it means? The temperature at which a solid melts to form a liquid at atmospheric pressure is called melting point. So we will first see here this by an example. So what we have to do? We have to take a tripod stand, or you may say a stand on which we can keep the beaker. Here we kept this beaker. We have took the burner with it. Now what we have done? We have taken ice inside this beaker, and here we have kept a thermometer inside it, right? So what is happening here? When we give a heat to it, when we start giving heat to this ice, what will happen? What will happen? The ice will start melting, or if it does not give any heat to it, still at room temperature also what will happen? It will start melting. So at this point we will measure the temperature. What is the temperature when a small amount of ice starts melting? The temperature measured is 0 degree Celsius, right? Still the ice is melting now. We will wait till the complete ice is melted. So now after some time what will happen? The ice is completely melted. So at this point also we will measure a temperature of that. Now till when the ice is completely melted, still what is happening when we record the temperature? The temperature is still 0 degree. So according to us the temperature needs to change na, as at some point when the ice is melted, a small amount of ice is melted, still at that time the temperature is 0 degree Celsius, and when the complete ice is melted, still also the temperature is 0 degree Celsius, right? There need to be change, but the temperature is not changed. So there is a reason because of what it is not changed. And what is that reason? That reason is latent heat of fusion. What is the reason behind that? That is latent heat of fusion. What it states? The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of solid to its liquid state is known as what? Latent heat of fusion. Means when the ice is getting, when small amount of ice is getting converted into liquid, till when the whole ice is getting converted to liquid, some heat is required to convert that to melt that whole ice from small piece to the complete liquid form, right? Some heat is required, so that amount of heat is known as what? Latent heat of fusion, right? This latent heat of fusion is required to change 1 kg of solid to its liquid state. Is it clear to all of you? Latent heat of fusion and melting point. Melting point is what? The temperature at which a solid melts to form a liquid at atmospheric pressure is called a melting point. Or what is latent heat of fusion? The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of solid to its liquid state is called latent heat of fusion. Now, the second terminology is what? Second is boiling point. Now, what is boiling point suggest? What does the boiling point suggest? The temperature at which a liquid boils to form a vapor at atmospheric pressure is called a boiling point. Means what? The temperature at which liquid boils. A certain temperature is there at which a liquid starts boiling to form its vapor state at atmospheric pressure. Means no external pressure is required. At the room temperature, at the room pressure only, when a liquid boils to form a vapor, it is known as what? It is, that temperature is known as a boiling point. Is it clear to all of you? Yes, the temperature at which the liquid boils to form a vapor at atmospheric pressure is called boiling point. Now here also we will discuss this with an example. See, here also what we have done, we have again taken a beaker and this time we have filled this beaker with water. Okay, and here also we have kept that thermometer inside that, and here we are going to give the heat to this beaker. Okay, now after some time what will happen? Some boils will occur in this water, isn't it? Yes, the water starts boiling. At initial level, when the water starts boiling, what we do? We will measure the temperature with the help of this thermometer. And what is the temperature at that time when initially the water starts boiling? The temperature will be 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, here the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius and initially this water is started boiling just now. Still we are giving heat to it. After some time what will happen? The complete water will boil, and what will happen? Water vapors are going to arise from that. Yes, water vapor will form as it will completely boil. So here what is happening? That liquid is getting converted into its vapor form. Right, here vapor will arise in this way. So, but still when it start boiling, initially when water is started getting boiled, still that at that point the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. Then again when the complete water is boiled, we will measure the temperature when the vapors are forming. At that time also the recorded temperature is what? At that time also the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. Why it is so? Again here it is because of the latent heat of vaporization. See, we have given some heat we have given extra heat as when the water start initially boiling, and when the vapor are forming, still we have given that heat to it na, to start boil completely from initially to the final level of boiling. We still are providing some heat to it, and the temperature is same. Because of what? Because of latent heat of vaporization only. So what is latent heat of vaporization? The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of liquid to its gaseous state is known as what? Latent heat of vaporization. What it is? The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of liquid to its gaseous state is known as latent heat of vaporization. Is it clear? Boiling point and latent heat of vaporization. What is this? Boiling point is the temperature at which a liquid boils to form a vapor at atmospheric pressure is called boiling point. And what is latent heat of vaporization? The amount of heat required to change 1 kg of liquid to its gaseous state is known as latent heat of vaporization. Okay? Now, the another terminology about which we are going to learn now is sublimation. What is sublimation? See here. It also comes under the category changing temperature. Okay. So, here also temperature is getting changed. What is sublimation? The change of solid directly to vapor on heating and vapor into solid on cooling without passing to the intermediate state, that is liquid state, is known as sublimation. What is sublimation? The change of solid directly to the vapor form on heating and vapor into solid on cooling without going to the intermediate state, that is liquid, is known as what? Sublimation. Isn't it interesting that solid is directly getting converted into gaseous form or vapor form, or gases is on gas on cooling directly getting converted into solid form, right? Have you seen any example of that? So here we will see one example so the picture will get clear in mind. What are the examples of sublimation? Examples of sublimation are camphor, kapoor. Have you seen kapoor burning? When we burn that kapoor, what will happen? At that time, a solid is there. Solid cube of kapoor is there, camphor is there. And when we burn it, what happens? It initially starts burning, and in vapor state only it completely gets burned. It completely starts burning or completely gets burned and it is converted into vapor form. It doesn't go in liquid state, right? So, another example is ammonium chloride, and next one is naphthalene balls. Have you seen about that naphthalene balls? Our mother used to keep these naphthalene balls in between the clothes in our almirah, right? So, in this case also what happens, when we keep that, there are balls in between the clothes, and after some days what will happen? The balls are going to be reduced. After some time when we see this ball, what happens? The size is reduced, and after so many days what is going to happen? Even we did not see a small ball also. So here also what is happening? The solid naphthalene ball is directly getting converted into its vapor form. Okay. So we will see one example of ammonium chloride here. Okay. Let's pay attention to here. What we have done here, we have taken one china dish and here we have taken a solidified ammonium chloride. Okay. Now we have covered this with an inverted funnel. Okay, funnel we have kept in inverted way and we have sealed its mouth with a cotton plug. Okay. Now what we are going to do? We will start giving heat to this china dish or to the hole. Okay. What will happen? this ammonium chloride starts melting. But on melting, what is happening here? It is not converted into liquid state. This is solid. It is not going under liquid state. What is happening here? Here vapors are formed. Vapors of ammonium chloride are formed here. And why we have sealed this? Because we doesn't want to go outside this vapor. That's why we have sealed this with a cotton plug. We are collecting this vapor inside this inverted funnel. So here vapors are formed. Okay. So till complete vaporization doesn't take place, we will continue giving heat. After some time, what will happen? The complete vaporization is taken place and it is completely converted into vapor state. The funnel will look white in color as many vapors are present inside it. Now we will off the flame. Okay. Now we will let it cool it down. Okay. Now after some time, when we see this funnel, what we observe? That these vapors are not present here. Where are these vapors now? These vapors are settled here at the neck of this inverted funnel. At the neck of this inverted funnel, a white substance is seen that is attached to the neck of this funnel. That is what? That are these vapors which are accumulated over the neck of the funnel. So, this is what? This is solidified ammonium chloride, which is again solidified. Solidified ammonium chloride. So here what happens first? First, this solid ammonium chloride is getting converted into vapor state, and on cooling, this vapor is again getting converted into solid form. So this is what? This is only a sublimation process, right? So here you are clear with the sublimation? Okay. Now, the another factor is by changing pressure, we can change the state of matter. Till now, what we have seen? We have seen about while changing temperature, the states of matter changes. But now we are going to learn about changing pressure. Pressure means what? Pressure means dabav. To press something is known